We didn't come here quietly. We arrived already moving, already carrying something that needed space. The night didn't start this, it only revealed it. Before the sound hits full, there's a moment where everyone feels it at the same time. A shared understanding that tonight belongs to us. The ground isn't just ground, it's a witness. It remembers footsteps from every night like this. We stand inside the noise, not to escape the world, but to reassemble ourselves. When the beat comes in, it doesn't interrupt, it completes. Bodies don't react. Bodies don't react, they respond like this language was learned long ago. Low sound moves like weather, slow, wide, unavoidable. It doesn't ask permission, it just arrives. We were made for this, not the first hit, but the long stretch afterward. We were made for this, when the sound keeps returning. I'll keep returning. You were made. I'll keep returning. We were made for this, and the sound keeps returning. I'll keep returning. We were made for this, when voices blend without trying. We were made for this, and the room knows it. Say it, not loudly, honestly. Movement spreads, not from the front, not from the back, from everywhere. Every step forward feels rehearsed, even though nothing was planned. Jump, jump, energy doesn't burn out, it circulates, passing from body to body without losing heat. Left side leans, right side answers. The center holds steady like a spine, spine. Bass doesn't dominate, it supports, it carries, it reinforces. We don't fight the way, we lean into it again, 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 again. Rise slowly, not as a signal, but as instinct. Hands rise because gravity feels different here. This isn't chaos, it's coordination without leadership. Every return feels deeper, not louder, more settled. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. You feel the shift before it happens, a tightening, a collective breath. Tightening, a collective breath. As space compresses, then opens like the ruin. Let it exist and let it roll. Jump bass, say it again, not as a chant, as a statement. We were made for this, from borrowed system, built our own sound. We were made for this, from empty rooms to filled horizons. We were made for this, when strangers stop feeling separate. We were made for this, and the sound confirms it. The night stretches, it doesn't rush us. Bass stays underneath everything like a promise, like a foundation. Move, 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 move. Eyes open, jump. No finish line, no signal out, just continuation. Hands rise again because the energy returns unannounced, but expected. We don't chase tomorrow, we reinforce now, layer by layer, wave by wave. We were made for this, not once but continuously. We were made for this, not to peak but to persist. We were made for this, fully connected, fully awake. The crowd doesn't fade, it stabilizes. Sound becomes structure, moon becomes memory. Hold, release, return. Return, 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 return. I'll gaze at all. Still grounded, still wide, still unfolding. Say it one more time, without emphasis, without rush. We were made. The space doesn't wait, it opens on its own, like it recognizes what's about to happen. Sound doesn't arrive, suddenly it seeps in quiet confidence. Before the reaction, people don't gather here, they converge, drawn by something they can't point to, a shared instinct, a familiar pull. The ground feels steady, not because it's still, but because it moves with us. Every breath aligns without instruction, without effort, just awareness. The night stretches wider as if curiosity, impatience. It doesn't rush belief, it earns it. Resistance fades, not from force, but from understanding. Again, again. Hands rise slowly as balance, not celebration. As if the body is matching the sound's posture. This isn't repetition, it's reinforcement. This isn't excess, it's clarity. Every echo strengthens the structure. Nothing collapses, nothing leaks. Don't stop, don't stop. You sense the shift as a collective inhale, a tightening before release. The room compresses, then expands like a living thing. Learning rhythm, hold the space, respect it, then let it move. Jump, bass, jump, bass, jump, bass, jump, bass. Say it again, without urgency. We were made for this. From there we're beginnings to wide outcomes. We were made for this. From borrowed sound to own presence. We were made for this. When strangers stop being strangers, we were made for this. And the sound verifies it. Nothing fades, it layers. Every cycle adds gravity, not exhaustion. Face remains constant like a law, not a feature. Move, move, move. Eyes open, focus soft. Awareness sharp. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. This is not a climax, it's a condition. A state that sustains itself. Jump, jump. No edge, no frame, only continuation. Hands rise again because the body predicts the next wave. We don't follow sound, we coexist with it. Say it, say it. We were made for this, not briefly, but repeatedly. We were made for this, to return without loss. We were made for this, to stay inside motion without needing resolution. The crowd becomes terrain, the sound becomes weather. Move, hold, release, return. Don't stop, don't stop. Still grounded, still expanding, still responsive. Say it once more, let it sit inside. We were made for this. The vibration never leaves, it relocates, it reshapes. The night remains receptive, the space remains open. The sound circles back, not to restart. Into present stays heavy, attention stays wide. Nothing closes, nothing resolves. The first impulse quietly reappears, ready to move again. The night doesn't fall here, it unfolds layer by layer, like it's been waiting. The first sound doesn't arrive loud, it arrives certain. energy doesn't spike, it accumulates like a wave learning its own strength. Left and right blur together, front and back dissolve, only direction remains. Forward pace doesn't command, it persuades with patience, with consistency. Resistance fades because it no longer serves a purpose. Again, again, hands rise slowly, not as a signal, but as balance, like standing on something that keeps moving. This isn't excess, it's intention. This isn't noise, it's architecture. Every echo builds structure, every pause adds tension. Nothing collapses.
Don't stop, don't stop.
You feel the shift before it happens, a tightening, a shared awareness. The room compresses, then opens as if it learned how to breathe with us. Hold the space, let it exist, then let it move.
Jump face, jump face.
Say it again. Bass. Say it again. We were made for this, from narrow rooms to open ground. We were made for this, from borrowed sound to owned moments. We were made for this, when strangers move with shared certainty. We were made for this, and the sound confirms it. Nothing fades here, it layers. Every cycle adds depth, not fatigue. Base stays present, like gravity. Always there, even when unseen. Move, move. Eyes open, mind steady, body sure.
Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Don't stop, don't stop. Don't stop, don't stop. Don't stop, don't stop.
This isn't a peak, it's a plateau wide enough to stay on.
Don't stop, don't stop.
No finish line, no exit sign, only continuation. Hands rise again because the energy predicts itself. We don't wait for tomorrow. We stretch the present till it feels endless. Say it, say it. We were made for this, not once, but repeatedly. We were made for this, to return without loss. We were made for this, to stay inside the motion without needing more. The crowd becomes landscape, the sound becomes horizon.
Don't stop, don't stop.
Still grounded, still expanding, still unfolding. Say it one more time, let it echo in words. We were made for this. The sound doesn't end, it relocates. keeps listening. The first vibration quietly returns.